Much too young. You're married with a kid.
Now, if, like me, you grew up loving two-tone and ska music, you are in for a treat tonight. Our opening track, Too Much Too Young, which got to number 1 in 1981, will tip you off that we are talking to a member of the Specials who also went on to become a part of Funboy 3. And if you love them, you'll be thrilled to know that there has just been a release of the complete Funboy 3 5 CD and DVD deluxe set. It's been a tough few months for friends and family of the founding member of both those groups, the hugely talented Terry Hall, who passed away late last year. So very much appreciated that we are welcoming his friend and bandmate, Linval Golding, to the great conversation.
Jackie, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Well, a little bit tired, overwhelmed as well, because at Coventry University I was given this special award of honorary, you know?
Oh, honorary doctorate. So it should be Dr. Golding, I presume.
I can't get used to that. It's still early days, but yeah.
Oh, so you were presented with this honorary doctorate in front of all the students and old friends and people from the musical community in Coventry. I mean, wow, how amazing.
It was absolutely wonderful, beautiful day. It was, we had a little bit of blessing earlier on, which is rain. But in the afternoon, it was the sun was out and it was lovely. You know, I bring sunshine.
You certainly do. Well, listen, without wishing to bring it down in any way, shape or form, we have to say, you know, one person that would have been missing yesterday was the late and wonderful Terry Hall, your friend and co-worker and musical partner for such a long time. How are you doing along that process of dealing with that, Linval?
Very, very, very hard. And you would not believe, like, the last time I was inside the Coventry Cathedral was me, because, you know, Terry couldn't, there's no way, whatever he's doing, right, I would sneak, if he's doing sort of solo stuff, right, I'll sneak up behind him and I'm there, you know?
Yeah.
Time I was with him in Coventry was at the City of Culture.
Oh yeah, that was 2021 when Coventry won City of Culture.
And he did a set, a solo set at inside the cathedral. And I was in Newcastle, and I coming from Newcastle, right down to Coventry, and I surprised him, you know. And he just, and get rid of this guy, you know. You know. And that was so obviously there was a bit of tear in my eyes when I stood on the platform there, and you know, and thinking, you know, the last time I was here singing with him, you know.
Yeah.
I would say, like, you know, my tank has been run dry since he passed, and I'm just
understand.
a bit of fumes back in my tank now, you know.
Yes.
My first trip back to England since his funeral.
It's kind of this weird fog that there's no way around. You just kind of have to go. You have to go through it. And
yes.
and you know, hard and difficult for everybody, Linval, but being a public figure and being from such a beloved musical background with the Specials and Funboy 3, there's a public side of it that you have to deal with that most people don't have to deal with. Has it helped to have sort of an outpouring of love for Terry from the public, or does it feel intrusive? It
was overwhelming. I'm going, my God, you know, because if you think about it, you know the man's history musically.
Yeah.
Specials, the Funboy 3, the Color Fields, the solo stuff. He's written so many, you know, I've been, and he was, at times I said to him, look, I kind of understand why you're not being recognized as one of the best lyricists in England ever. I don't get it. Because the lyrics that he wrote, right, and all the lyrics that 90% of the Funboy 3 stuff, right, he wrote, you know, lyrics, you know, he's the man responsible for all those lyrics. Being by Terry's side for all those years, right, that's my big winner. So I've got nothing to go and try and, you know, win, because I've already won it. And nobody could ever win a bigger lottery than I have working with the man for all those years.
Consequences, altered cases, broken. In the tunnel of love.
Great track, The Tunnel of Love, a hit in 1983 for Funboy 3. Linval Golding of the Specials and Funboy 3 is our special guest on tonight's great conversation. And Linval, as you know, we like to go way back with our guest artists to find out about the influences that impacted them along the way. So you were born in Jamaica, Do you remember much about it as a lad, or is really your childhood memories more about around Gloucester?
Oh no, I remember because when I left Jamaica just got independent. So I remember that completely, you know, and all the big independent songs that was played, and the ska song that was Derek Morgan, and all the, you know, Prince Buster.
Enjoy yourself. It's yourself while you're still in the pink.
So, you know, that's where my musical journey started from, you know. And obviously, when I got to England, I discovered the Beatles, and then the Rolling Stones, and I thought, wow, you know, I flick a coin, and well, which one am I going to support, you know? And you wouldn't believe, right? You know, when because Brian Jones is from Cheltenham,
right?
So when he died, I actually, you know, I was at that concert at Hyde Park when Mick was in that dress and all that, you know. And I tell you a story, right, which is so incredible. I was like there. And years later, I got to be in the same bill opening for the Rolling Stones at Coventry Stadium, you know.
Oh wow! And
even something even more funny than that, right? The first time I met Keith Richards, right, was we were doing Saturday Night Live in New York, you know.
Yeah.
And our producer engineer got him down to the you know, down, and he met, and he brought me this present, you know. And it was a plastic bag with these guitar effects in, and I'm just, and when this guy come out of the Stress limousine, and he goes, and I couldn't talk. I was shocked, and he gave me the I can't remember if saying thank you to him, right? But years later, at the Coventry Rico football ground, right, I said thank you to him. 30 odd years later, I said thank you, and you know.
Couple of full circle moments there. So as a kid in Gloucester, you're loving the Stones. Then you meet him in New York for Saturday Night Live. You're too gobsmacked to really say anything. But 30 years later, you got round to it.
Yes, it's all because of you know Brian Jones, who's from Cheltenham, and I was, you know, so that brought me to the
local boy. Yeah,
that would have been my first gig, my first, you know, proper big, huge gig. You know, I mean, I've little gigs that in clubs and pubs and stuff like that, you know. But that was the first big one, you know. That was just amazing.
I see a rector and I want it painted black. My darkness goes.
Paint It Black. The Rolling Stones, whose Hyde Park gig in 1969 was the first one of note witnessed by tonight's special guest, Lynval Golding of The Specials and Fun Boy 3. And we will be back to continue our great conversation with Lynval next. Welcome back to the evening show with Jackie Brambles, where it's just you, me, and our special guest, Lynval Golding of The Specials and Fun Boy 3, cozying on in for a great conversation. So, where did your musicality first reveal itself then, Lynval?
From a little kid in Jamaica, my grandmother bought me a little mouth organ. And and then, you know, like back in the days, right, because, you know, I used to take like the silver paper off, the cigarette, you take the silver paper in the cigarette package. They don't do that.
Yes.
And you used to wrap it around a comb and then blow it and make,
yeah,
music out of that, you know.
A homemade harmonica.
Yeah, a little mouth organ. And that's what triggered my music. When I come to England, obviously I was about, 13 or 14, around that age, you know. And then I got into guitar, obviously through seeing, you know, my wonderful, amazing stepmother bought me all the Beatles boots and suit and all that. So I got all that.
Oh, amazing!
After I saw the Rolling Stones, and you know, you think, wow, yes, that's what I want. I want to be in a band like that, you know. So I didn't throw away my Beatles clothes. I saved it, but I went a little bit more rebel, you know, with it. A
little bit more rock and roller. So what took you to Coventry then? Because obviously Coventry is the place where the Specials, you know, came to be, and is a very rich musical city, particularly at that time. What took you from Gloucester to there?
Well, my father, you know, after he was made redundant in Gloucester. So there was a lot more work, because Coventry was the industrial city of, you know, the car factories, all those factories there, the motorbike.
Right.
It was all here. So he moved to Coventry, and the whole family moved to Coventry. And that's how we that's what family come to settle in Coventry.
And you guys got together how?
Me and I must give a lot of credit to this wonderful gentleman. His name is Ray King, but he was the foundation, the roots of all our music. All of us in Coventry, we looked up to Ray King. Ray King was like the James Brown of Coventry.
Oh, wow.
And he formed the band.
This storm is coming like a ghost town.
The Specials with their second number one hit, Ghost Town. So success was coming at you like a freight train. But the thing that really made the Specials different was that you always had loftier ambitions than, you know, getting a hit record and getting on top of the pops. It was always about the bringing together of people and as you say, unfortunately, that kind of attracted some extremes as well, didn't it? Of people who tried to kind of co-opt the band for themselves. But I loved the quote that I read from you, and forgive me not doing it word for word, but it was something about I think somebody said, why did you let, you know, National Front racists into your concerts? And you said, why would I shut them out? I want them to come on in and we can have a conversation.
That is right. And I can tell you right, I've had conversation with guys that this one particular guy, I think was in Plymouth, you know, and when we finished talking, right, he was part of the National Front. We literally shook hands, and he goes, I've never talked to a black guy before. You're the first one. And I had no idea why it was, you know, it's obviously and fashion and true politics grab them young, you know. But music is much stronger, much stronger than the National Front message. We had positive message, positive. Let's all unite.
Was it a struggle? Was there kind of a bit of a push and pull then between, you know, becoming popular and having hits and being on top of the pops and being a part of an industry where, when that happens, you know, limousines pull up outside and private jets appear, and which is sort of very counter to the social messaging that you were doing and that you were living. Did it feel weird to kind of be a pop star on the one hand and this sort of trying to be a social arbiter of goodness on the other? I
think you just got to look at the photograph of us, right, when we were young, right, you know, and look at the photograph of Duran, right? They're handsome boys. They were the pop stars. We were too ugly to be pop stars.
Duran. We're in the charts at number 29 with Girls on Film in the summer of 81, when the Specials were at the top of the charts with Ghost Town. Lynval, you talked about Duran being the sort of archetypal pretty pop stars. So where did you think of yourselves? Where did you place yourselves?
You know, we were always the kind of the youth band. Because if you think, right, you know, what was the last big huge musical explosion, you know? It's the two-tone stuff, you know. So there haven't been another musical uprise since then, you know? Yeah,
right.
You know, and with vision and with strong political movement, and all the students and everyone, we played at colleges and universities, and you know, we spread our message to the young people. We were the voice of the young people. And I'm proud to say that we went out there and we did a very good job.
You did an amazing job, but it wasn't without its problems and its difficulties. I mean, what was it? Tell us what the experience was like, going from, you know, being this Coventry-based band and doing the gigs that you were doing, living the life that you were living, and then, you know, next minute you are on top of the pops. I mean, were you able to sort of enjoy that and be thrilled by that? And do you have clear memories of the first top of the pops?
The first top of the pops, when I got back to Coventry, I just thought, why everybody's looking at me? Have I put my pants or something? Why they keep staring? Didn't realize, because we was on top of the pops. You know, top of the pops was literally the show that every Thursday religiously, that was our...
Everybody watched.
Everybody was top of the pops. So to be recognized, once you're on top of the pops, you got to be recognized. And then that was when things change. Everything changed there.
Because you became part of an industry that people could make money from you and sell records, and everything sort of gets ramped up. How did you all deal with that?
I think we have to take it seriously to think that, you know, we were the voice of the youth, you know, and we've got to be positive in every way. and spread the message of the youth. You know, we were their voice. You know, we were the mouthpiece for them. You know, so we went down that road, and I think what we've done. I think we've done a wonderful job. Because if we didn't do such a good job, right, 40-something years later, we wouldn't be talking about it today, you know?
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the lovely relationship that Funboy 3 had with Bananarama, how that kind of came about. They feature on the new complete Funboy 3 release. Mm-hmm. How did that all come to be? I know that you were great mates, and we've had the girls on the show, and many lurid tour details of drinking you boys under the table.
Yeah, they did. They were just so, and I'll tell you, it's one with Terry, Terry was such an incredible, talented man, right? In every department. He doesn't go out and shout about it. That's why I've got to tell the whole world how talented this man was, right? I know he spot talents and everything like that. And I tell you, to get him in the studio with, they had not a lot of recording experience, right?
Yeah.
And we had an amazing time. And it was such an incredible journey, because once you're in the studio and you press on the red lights on, recording girls, let's go for it. And as soon as your red lights is off, you think, oh my God. But girls, one more take, we'll get it now. It's brilliant. Let's do it one more time again, and we got it. We really worked with it, and it was a wonderful time. Working with them.
Aww. Nothing
but love to those three.
It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Got to number 4 in 1982, and when Sarah and Karen from Bananarama were on the show a couple of weeks ago, they referred to their own first Top of the Pops appearance, which was singing that track along with Funboy 3. It's very sweet to look at if you fancy a look online. And we will be back with our special guest, Linval Golding of The Specials and Funboy 3, as our great conversation continues next. Welcome back to the evening show with Jackie Brambles, the home of great conversations with your favourite artists of the 70s, 80s and 90s. And tonight, our special guest is Linval Golding. And Linval, with the success of The Specials and Funboy 3, I would imagine came some opportunities to meet some pretty interesting characters. Who were you particularly impressed with?
David Byrne from Talking Heads.
Of course, he produced Funboy 3's second album.
Very, very, very talented man. A lot of these ideas like that come around, right? That's Terry's ideas. You look at the backdrop and the lighting and the stage, right? Even like the last show we did with all those protest signs, right? You know that Terry and Oris actually painted all those signs.
Is that right?
They were unmade, but Terry's what an amazing vision that man had.
Oh, how and what did you do with David Byrne?
We did the second album, Funboy 3 Waiting. Elvis Costello produced our first album. He's a one-off.
Of course.
I wish they made 2 or 3, so I could spend more time with him and been able to work with him a bit more. But he's such a busy and such a talented man. But Elvis Costello, wonderful.
Pump It Up, a hit for Elvis Costello in 1978. He must have almost been simultaneously producing that iconic first Specials album. And of course, Elvis put together the remake of the song Free Nelson Mandela with yourself and Dave Wakeling and Ranking Roger. Did you ever get the chance to meet Nelson Mandela?
I saw Nelson when he went to Birmingham, I didn't actually get to shake the great man hand.
Yeah.
The inspiration from that man, right? And we all did backing vocal and all that with it, with Dave Wakeling from the beat and Ranking Roger from the beat and all those of us who, and I mean, that song really sort of tell the world that there's a man in prison for 21 years. At the time, it was 21 years, and the injusticeness of the apartheid system and the divide. And all the man was trying to do was unite, not divide.
Yeah.
I mean, right, we live in a very, I live in America, which is a very divided country, We need more Nelson Mandela right now.
We've played Fun Boy 3 and special songs tonight. I know keeping Terry Hall's legacy going is important to you, Linval, so let's play a track from his band, The Colourfield.
You're reading my mind, girl, and it's only my age where I can't remember things that well. But we go thinking of you, beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yes.
I guess I kind of sort of know I ought to be thinking of you, thinking of you.
Number 12 in 1985, that's Terry Hall's Colourfield with Thinking of You. Okay, Linval, final question that I ask everybody is for you to pick a track. It's one that inspires you or uplifts you, that you find yourself putting on fairly often because you know it's going to do the job. Who would it be?
Who would it be, my God? Because, obviously I would go to, there's one song that I just keep humming all the time. And, obviously it's a Bob Marley song, but it's Get Up, Stand Up for rights. Don't give up the fight. That says so much to me. Inspiration, drive, and it's spread across like to it's such a wide range,
Yes.
From who's going into the academic field and they're studying. Don't give up the fight.
Oh, I love it.
Keep on going till you get to,
Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up.
From 1973, Get Up, Stand Up, Bob Marley and the Wailers, our final track of the hour, as chosen by our special guest, Linval Golding of The Specials and Fun Boy 3. And I tell you what strikes me as we bid each other farewell, Linval, is that you have as much energy and enthusiasm and warmth for the subject matter of people coming together now as you ever did as a young man. And it's inspiring to see. Many people get jaded or tired or run out of steam. Not you, sir.
Thank you, because, I'll tell you one thing, right? Because I've experienced being beaten up in a racist attack, right? Quite a few times. And I still end up smiling because, you're not going to stop me. Unity, as Rankin Rogers would say, unity is the key, and we will unite people. Doesn't matter, we will carry on working towards unity, not divide.
You're an inspiration, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that,
Wishing you nothing but health and happy times ahead. I know, grief is a tricky old road to negotiate and can trip you up when you're not expecting it. I'm wishing you all the very best and reminding people that the Fun Boy 3 collection is out now. And
from Terry, when Terry's had a good night, he always finish when he walk off the stage. Most nights, you can tell when he's having a bad night. When he walks up and doesn't say anything, but when he walks up and he goes, love, love, love.
Oh, Linval. Love, mate. Love back, right back at you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day and lovely talking to you and bless you, Linval
Golding, what a fantastic chap.